Thank you so much, APBP, for giving me this 2021 Young Professional of the Year award. It's really meaningful to receive this recognition, so thank you. And thank you to the selection committee. A big thank you also to the wonderful people that nominated me. I'm so grateful to have you in my life, the people that I work with and people that I learn from and people that I'm friends with, so thank you so much. I am really passionate about active transportation planning and the role that it plays in creating communities where people can thrive, especially people who have and continue to be marginalized because of their race, because of their gender, because of their orientation, or their disability. So I know it is a blessing to be able to get up and work in a field that you're passionate about. So I'm grateful for that. And I'm grateful also to be able to work with other young professionals who are passionate about what they do. I know that there's a lot of amazing work being done around the country, in the private sector and the public sector, moving us forward through advocacy. So thank you. And to my fellow young professionals, especially if you're Black, especially if you're a woman or a person of color, I know the imposter syndrome can get real sometimes, so we can keep reminding ourselves that we got this. Thank you again to the selection committee and to the wonderful ladies that nominated me, and to APBP.
You know how sometimes you get lots of email, just way more than you can read. And you start to have to go through it and triage. And, you skim through messages and you really try to make sure you don't miss things that are important. Well, that's what I was doing when I first saw this message about my getting an award. And that was something that I had to take a second look, to make sure it was real. And then when I realized, yeah, I think that's what this means, I was like real happy. And I started thinking about who must have nominated me. And that made me feel even better because those are the people I work with the most. I hadn't been that excited about reciprocal admiration since my now husband first asked me to go camping. But that's another story. Yes, my name is Charlotte Claybrook. I'm the Active Transportation Programs Manager for the Washington State Department of Transportation. And this is my way to say thank you and I accept the 2021 Professional of the Year Public Sector Award. I'm grateful for the award, grateful for a job I love, for a deep passion for the work, and especially for the support and uber smarts of the people I work with. Not to mention the people here at APBP, people who have shared their expertise at conferences like this one over the years. As to my initial skepticism about getting an award, I think I get it now. In this profession, there is value in people who are tenacious, who are a little opinionated, maybe even a little pushy. People who talk about transportation from the perspective of being on the other side of the windshield, from the sidewalk, from the bike lane, the side of the road. I humbly admit that I am purpose-driven, but there's a reason for that. My work, your work, our work, it's important. That's right. Ask me what's important about my work that's dear. Walking to and from a place without a car to fear. Getting to your destination, making your own choice. Walkers, cyclists, skaters, all. Giving them a voice. Not just reports, forms, or working weekend benders. The plans, spreadsheets, or meeting with car first tenders. The conferences, committees, emails, or the action teams, the outreach, the travel, the feedback, and what it means. It's more that at the end of the day, no matter how small, no matter how fleeting, I can step away and say, my oar was in there and I'm pulling for you all. Let's keep working together to slow the vehicles down, provide for separation, sidewalks, buffered bike lanes, etc., and give people who walk and bike a place to cross the road. Thanks again to those who nominated me. Thanks to my boss, Barb Chamberlain, my colleagues, Brian Wood, Ed Spilker, and so many others at WashDOT who've supported me, as well as those who made me stronger and maybe even a little smarter when they didn't agree with my perspective. Speak out and be well.
Hi everyone. Thanks very much to APBP for this award. I'm really humbled and grateful. You know, I've been a member of APBP for many years and I never doubted its value, but I also never really asked myself what specifically it is about APBP that I value. To get me thinking about this, in true geek mode, I Googled APBP's Articles of Incorporation in hopes that it might prompt some ideas. Sure enough, I found them. One of the stated goals in those articles is, quote, to share information, advice, and expertise, close quote. That captures the real value of APBP for me. I started my career in this field 1 year after those APBP Articles of Incorporation were filed. And throughout, I learned from so many leaders in our field, whether by reaching out directly to them or just by watching and copying them from afar. The amazing thing is most of these folks were involved with APBP in one way or another. They were willing to take time out of their busy day to respond to my questions, to, quote, share information, advice, and expertise. People like APBP founders Andy Clark, Arthur Ross, and Ben Gomberg. People like APBP past award recipients Leah Shaham, Deb Hubsmith, and Peter Lagerway. People like APBP members John Ciccarelli, Lauren Ledbetter, and Brooke DeBose. And people like Susie Stevens, who at the Thunderhead Ranch way back in, I think it was 1999, treated me not as an annoying rookie, but as a person worthy of her patience and enthusiasm and kindness. Thanks to all these people and thanks to APBP. Cheers.
One of my office mates inspected a box recently, and the second one supervised. And then this third one guarded what was in it between breaks. Such a special award from the Association of Pedestrian and Bicycle Professionals. There have been so many times in the last year where I've faced the fact that my work is not essential. My public sector colleagues were out and about across the country delivering on other duties as assigned to meet the challenge of providing unforeseen services. They developed new protocols for meetings and stood up planned networks and unplanned projects through accelerated delivery. And they did this while operating under modified shifts and physical distancing. Protocols on streets had been more deadly than ever, all while facing massive furloughs and layoffs. People far more innovative than me worked on providing compassionate and effective responses to rising homelessness. And while I did learn some new skills and became a character in the secret life of my pets, hot summer nights on the streets of Portland brought purpose to living alone at work and reminded me that I have been so fortunate to work in my right livelihood for most of my career. Starting in the living rooms of people facing displacement from the Century Freeway in Los Angeles, and continuing to this day working with clients and community members to ensure that streets are safe for all, whether walking, wading, bicycling, or driving. The small ways we program and design our streets one project at a time set the stage for an expectation of civility and intentionally support conversations about the amazing future we can create when the lived experiences of the most vulnerable are first to inform our planning and design decisions. I'm so grateful for the generosity of my colleagues who have given beyond measure and helped deliver on outcomes that matter. I never could have come this far without you. And I'm grateful to my nominators, the jury of the Association of the Pedestrian and Bicycle Professionals, And to this one, my son, who knows more than he should about pavement markings and not yet enough about how to use his unearned privilege to advance racial and social justice. Yet he knows the kindest question he can ask me is, how was work today? Finally, in limiting my focus in the last few minutes on my appreciation for this award, I have failed in many ways. I failed to fully center on the lived experiences of targeted Indigenous, African American, and Latinx people who historically have suffered from transportation decisions and been exposed to disproportionate traffic violence on our streets, whose health and well-being are continually threatened due to compounding systemic inequities. And with this acknowledgement, I redouble my commitment to a future where Black Lives Matter and where death is an unacceptable outcome for any mistakes made on our streets. Thank you again to my colleagues across the country, my clients, and the APBP jury for touching my heart and my resolve with this award.
Hello, and thank you to APBP for selecting me as this year's recipient of the Research Professional of the Year Award. I am deeply honored and humbled to receive this award. Growing up in India, I was drawn to transportation from an early age. My family did not own a car, and so to get around, we had to either walk, bike, or take public transit. Moving to Louisiana over 2 decades ago, I was immediately struck by the lack of transportation options to get around safely and sustainably. This led me to focus my career on research to improve the safety and efficiency of non-motorized modes when I moved to Portland to start my academic career. Join me on a tour as I take you along to show you some of my research highlights. We assess the safety and efficiency impacts of pedestrian-responsive signal control strategies like leading pedestrian intervals and found that its benefits were more safety-related. We explored road users' understanding of bicycle traffic signals and found that more research was needed to communicate allowable, protected, or permissive movements to bicyclists at signalized intersections. We studied RRFBs at locations with and without median beacons on 3-lane roadways and found that driver yielding rates increase with the addition of a median beacon. There are many individuals without whose mentorship, support, and guidance I would not be here today. I would like to especially thank Chris Monsier, Peter Coons, Jennifer Dill, Krista Nordbach, David Hurwitz, and Ed Smaglik for all their help, and Rob Bergini for getting me started on this path. I would also like to thank Trek and the Massey College of Engineering and Computer Science at Portland State University, as well as all the funding organizations without whose support this research would not be possible. We have come a long way, but we still have a lot to accomplish. In 2019, over 6,000 pedestrians and over 800 bicyclists were killed on our roads. Every life lost is one too many. Over the last year, the pandemic has shown us the increased need for more open spaces and increased impetus on biking and walking. We all now have an opportunity to rethink how we want to get around and use spaces differently in a post-pandemic world. I hope to continue to contribute to research outcomes that lead to a safe, efficient, and equitable transportation system for all users. Thank you.
Hello, Michael? Yes. Hi, how are you?
I'm just absolutely fine. Yep.
Okay, so the width standards, it looks to me like it's still saying that there should be 12-foot travel lanes. Is that really needed?
Why not go down to 10? 11 is excessive. Go down to 10. There you go. That was easy.
Do you have any ideas for how we can make that even better?
Yeah, I mean, it looks really complex right here.
Yeah, can help me come up with some ideas. So, no good, right? But look,
But what about that right there? Is that still okay?
this works. All right.
Yeah.
You were the inspiration, and we are still printing these. People still ask for them.
That's great. That's great. That's great.
And you may have one.
Oh,
I don't think I've ever seen it that long.
Yeah, I really like this. I mean, it's much cleaner than the old one. Yeah, I do like it. And I do like that this matches this too. It's got all the orange there.
Exactly. It really looks like it's
Yeah. And I,
I think both of these covers came out really beautifully. So not only your professional team, but your graphics team.
Well, we have so enjoyed working with you. It's so refreshing to work with such a forward-thinking city and with you as the project manager.
So as you can see, we created this pedestrian street, and it's really been a huge success over the year. Hi everyone. As promoting collaboration is a founding principle for APBP, it seemed only fitting that I should include in this video a small sampling of all of the wonderful people with whom I've worked. It truly takes a village to accomplish our goals. I also have to credit my parents for imparting the value of public service and for encouraging me to persevere even in the face of seemingly intractable obstacles. Being recognized through this APBP Lifetime Achievement Award is the highest honor I could imagine, and I thank you most sincerely.